I betrayed my devoted husband, Daniel, and eventually married the man I had an affair with, Ethan. But years later, life delivered a twist I could never have predicted. My closest friend, Sarah, ended up marrying Daniel. And I finalized our divorce in 2019. At the time, it seemed like the right decision. During the early days of the pandemic, he discovered my affair with Ethan, a local bartender. When he confronted me, I didn't lie. I admitted everything, told him I no longer loved him, and that I wanted our marriage to end. To his credit, Daniel handled it with remarkable composure. There were no bitter arguments, no drawn-out legal battles, no resentment. We simply let go. He moved 2 hours away to a quieter town for a new job and to pursue his Ph.D., while I stayed behind with Ethan, who would later become my husband. Daniel and I agreed to remain civil. I reached out from time to time, sending birthday wishes, holiday greetings, even a small gift when he earned his doctorate, but he never responded. Not once. That silence confused me. Daniel had always been thoughtful, sending handwritten thank you notes to everyone, even distant relatives. My parents and his brother received theirs, yet mine never arrived. I told myself he needed time to heal and try to focus on my life with Ethan. Life with Ethan was hectic. He already had 2 kids from a previous marriage, and with our own baby on the way, there was barely a moment to breathe. Between raising children and working, my mind had little room for reflection. Sarah, my best friend since college, lived in the same city as Daniel. She was a sharp attorney who also taught part-time at the local university. Our friendship had always endured long stretches of silence. Months could pass without contact, but whenever we reconnected, it was effortless. So, when she became distant, I didn't worry. Her last message in early 2022 mentioned how stressful work had been. I assumed she had met someone new and was going through another of her disappear for a while phases. I told myself we'd catch up when life calmed down. Last summer, Ethan and I traveled to the city where Daniel and Sarah lived. I texted her, hoping to grab coffee, but she never replied. I was disappointed, though not surprised, and ended up meeting with other friends instead. Then, in November, I attended a Thanksgiving gathering hosted by an old college friend. I went alone. Sarah was there, looking radiant, standing near the fireplace with a drink in hand. When I approached, she seemed tense. Her hug was quick, almost perfunctory. "I tried reaching you this summer," I said, "Try and keep my tone light." She hesitated, then spoke softly. "I was on my honeymoon. Sorry for not responding." I froze. "Your honeymoon? You got married?" She nodded, her expression unreadable. "To who?" I asked, though part of me already knew. Her answer hit me like a physical blow. "Daniel." For a moment, everything around me blurred. "What?" I whispered, but she cut me off. "You don't get be upset," she said sharply. "You broke him. We didn't even start talking until years after your divorce. You left him for a guy you met at a bar." Her words burned like acid. I spent the rest of that weekend trying to numb the pain, drinking too much, replaying the scene over and over. My best friend had married the man I had once vowed to love forever, the man I betrayed and yet, deep down, had never stopped thinking about. Back home, nothing felt right. I grew distant with Ethan, short-tempered with his kids. I found myself staring at old photos, haunted by memories of Daniel's gentle smile, the way he held me after hard days, the way silence fell between us when forgiveness wasn't enough. After weeks of tension, Ethan finally confronted me. Our argument escalated into a full-blown fight. I told him about Daniel and Sarah's marriage and how it shook me. Ethan laughed bitterly. "I've known for months. It's all over social media. You just didn't want to see it," he said. His words cut deep. I lashed out, furious that he had kept it from me while I spiraled, wondering why Sarah had cut me off. "You still love him, don't you?" Ethan asked coldly. "I don't," I snapped, but his reply landed hard. "If that were true, this wouldn't destroy you like it does." We argued until sunrise. Exhausted, I went to work and then stayed at my sister's for a few days to clear my head. But when I returned, The tension remained. Another fight erupted. Ethan accused me of emotional cheating. Maybe he's right, he said bitterly. You're acting like you lost everything. I lashed out, my voice shaking. You'll never understand real friendship or real love. The words slipped out before I could stop them, and regret hit immediately. But the damage was done. That night, lying awake, I replayed everything. I realized I had traded something deep and steady for something fleeting and shallow. Daniel had offered love that was patient, real, and kind, and I threw away for excitement that never lasted. Now Sarah lived a life I had abandoned, with a man who used to read beside me at night, who kissed me softly before work, who wrote notes just to make me smile. She hadn't reached out because she belonged to his world now, the world I had chosen to leave. I had built a new life, but the cracks were undeniable. Karma didn't arrive in a storm or scream. It came quietly, as a hollow ache, a reminder that I had been erased by the people I could never stop remembering.